Welcome to Coin's Rare Coin Value. In today's video, we're taking a close look at some of the most interesting 20 euro cent and 5 euro cent coins, including worn and bad condition examples that could attract serious collector attention if they contain rare dates, minting errors, or unusual varieties. First up, the 20 euro cent coin dated 2000 and bearing the RF inscription is a fascinating early Euro era coin and an interesting piece for collectors who study the introduction and development of Euro coinage. The letters RF stand for République Française, meaning French Republic, and identify France as the issuing country. France was one of the original countries to adopt the euro, with euro coins and banknotes entering circulation in 2002, although euro coins were produced earlier, including coins dated 1999, 2000, and 2001. This makes a 20 euro cent 2000 French coin an important example of the pre-circulation period of the euro. The coin belongs to the denomination family that includes 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 and 50 euro cents, along with the 1 euro and 2 euros coins. The 20-cent denomination is made from Nordic gold, an alloy consisting primarily of copper with aluminum, zinc and tin, and it has a distinctive golden yellow appearance when new. The coin has a diameter of approximately 22.25 millimeters, a weight of approximately 5.74 grams and a thickness of around 2.14 millimeters. One of its most recognizable characteristics is the unusual Spanish flower-shaped outer edge, which gives the 20-cent coin a distinctive appearance and helps differentiate it from the round 10 and 50-cent denominations. The French 20 euro cent design was created by Fabien Cordiaud. The national side features the famous image of Marianne, the traditional personification of the French Republic, wearing a Phrygian cap. Around the design are details associated with France and the euro currency, while the denomination, 20 euro cent, identifies the value. The common European side shows a map representing Europe and the denomination, with the design reflecting the development of European monetary integration. Because the 2000 issue was struck before euro coins officially entered everyday circulation in January 2002, examples dated 2000 can be particularly interesting to collectors as part of the transition from national currencies such as the French franc to the euro. It is important, however, to understand that an early date alone does not automatically make the coin extremely rare or worth thousands or millions of dollars. Many 2000 dated French 20-cent coins were produced in significant quantities, and ordinary circulated examples generally have modest collector value. The actual value of an individual coin depends on several factors, including its precise variety, minting characteristics, condition, strike quality, surface preservation, luster, possible errors or unusual varieties, and whether the coin has an interesting provenance. Coins in heavily circulated or poor condition may show scratches, stains, dark oxidation, contact marks, edge damage and loss of original luster, and these characteristics normally reduce collector interest unless the coin possesses a genuine rarity or recognized minting error. On the other hand, an exceptionally well-preserved example with strong original luster, sharp details and minimal contact marks can attract more interest from collectors. One of the most important areas to examine is the coin's date and national design. Collectors should carefully inspect the lettering, numerals, portrait details, edge shape and other design elements for unusual characteristics. Genuine mint errors can sometimes increase the value of modern euro coins, but an apparent error should always be verified because damage occurring after the coin left the mint can easily be mistaken for a minting error. For example, scratches, flattened areas, dents, discoloration and distorted edges caused by circulation are generally not valuable mint errors. A genuine mint error normally results from an abnormality during the manufacturing process, such as a striking problem, planchette problem, die issue or other recognized production anomaly. The 2000 date is also historically significant because it belongs to the period when European countries were preparing their citizens and financial systems for the physical introduction of euro cash. The euro itself was introduced as an accounting currency in 1999, while physical euro coins and banknotes became legal tender in 2002. Therefore, a French 20 euro cent dated 2000 represents an early stage in the history of the common European currency. For collectors, this historical connection can make the coin more interesting even when its monetary value is not exceptionally high. The coin's composition is also worth noting because Nordic gold gives it a durable golden appearance while providing the necessary characteristics for mass circulation. Over time, exposure to air, moisture, chemicals and handling can change the surface color, producing darker, duller or uneven tones. Such toning should not automatically be interpreted as evidence of rarity. Collectors should avoid aggressive cleaning because polishing or chemical cleaning can permanently damage the original surface and may substantially reduce numismatic desirability. A natural, untouched surface is usually preferable to a bright but artificially cleaned appearance. When evaluating a 20-euro-cent 2000 RF coin, collectors should first confirm that it is genuinely a French issue and that the date and inscriptions are authentic. They should then examine both sides under good lighting, preferably using magnification, to look for unusual die characteristics, doubling, missing details, striking abnormalities, planchet irregularities or other features that may correspond to a recognized variety. Weight and dimensions can also be checked with accurate equipment, although minor variations can occur because of manufacturing tolerances and wear. If a coin appears dramatically different from a normal example, authentication by an experienced numismatist or reputable grading service is recommended before assuming that it is rare. Online photographs can sometimes create exaggerated expectations because sensational claims about ordinary coins being worth enormous amounts are common. A 20-euro-cent 2000 RF should therefore not automatically be described as a million-dollar coin. Extremely high prices are generally associated with extraordinary rarities, major verified errors, unique specimens, important historical pieces or exceptional auction circumstances rather than ordinary circulated examples. Collectors should compare their coin with reliable catalog references and, when possible, examine documented auction results for comparable pieces. Condition is commonly described using grading terminology ranging from heavily worn circulated grades through extremely fine, about uncirculated and various mint state levels. Higher grade examples retain more detail and original surface quality, but grading should be based on the actual condition of the coin rather than simply its age. If you have a 20-euro-cent 2000 RF coin in your collection, take clear photographs of both sides, the edge and any unusual areas, and record its weight and diameter. These details can help determine whether the piece is an ordinary circulation coin, a particularly well-preserved specimen, or a possible variety or error. Ultimately, the greatest importance of the 20-euro-cent 2000 RF coin comes from its connection with the birth of the physical euro currency, its French national design featuring Marianne, its distinctive Nordic gold composition and its characteristic flower-shaped edge. It is an attractive and historically meaningful modern European coin that can be a worthwhile addition to a euro collection, especially for collectors interested in the early years of the currency. While most normal examples should not be expected to bring extraordinary sums, unusual varieties, authenticated mint errors and exceptional condition pieces can deserve closer investigation. The best approach is therefore to examine the coin carefully, preserve it in its original condition, avoid cleaning, verify any unusual characteristics and use reliable numismatic evidence before assigning a value. For anyone interested in euro collecting, the 2000 French 20-euro cent is a particularly useful coin for understanding the transition from national European currencies to the modern euro and the fascinating story behind one of the world's most widely used currencies. Next up, the 5-euro cent 2018 is a modern European circulation coin belonging to the smallest value group of euro denominations and is an interesting piece for collectors studying modern European coinage, different national designs, mint marks, varieties, and possible minting errors. The euro coin series contains 8 denominations: 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 and 50 cent, 1 euro and 2 euros, and every euro coin has a common European side and a national side identifying the issuing country. The 5-cent denomination has a face value of 5 cents, or 5 euro cents, and its standard specifications are approximately 21.25 mm in diameter, 1.67 mm in thickness, and 3.92 grams in weight. It is a round, red-colored coin made from copper-covered steel, with a smooth edge. The common side of the 5-cent coin features a globe showing Europe in relation to Africa and Asia, surrounded by the 12 stars of the European flag, while the national side varies according to the country that issued the coin. This means that simply saying, 5-euro cent 2018, is not always enough to identify a specific coin for collecting purposes, because several euro area countries issued 5-cent coins dated 2018, each with its own national design, minting arrangements and potentially different production quantities. For example, the French 5-cent design features a young Marianne with determined features, while Germany uses an oak twig design on its 1, 2 and 5-cent coins. Other countries use their own national symbols, historical figures, plants, buildings or cultural motifs, making the 2018 date particularly interesting when studying different national issues. The 2018 date itself does not automatically make a 5-euro cent coin rare or extremely valuable. Most ordinary 2018 examples found in circulation are modern coins produced for everyday use, and their collector value is normally influenced much more by the issuing country, mintage, condition, variety and authenticity than by the date alone. Collectors should therefore avoid assuming that every 2018 5-cent coin is a rare coin, simply because it is several years old. One of the most important factors is condition. A coin that has spent years in circulation may have scratches, small dents, dark spots, surface marks, oxidation, discoloration and loss of its original copper-colored appearance. Such a coin can still be collectible, but heavy circulation generally reduces its numismatic value. An exceptionally well-preserved coin with sharp details, strong original surfaces and attractive color may be considerably more desirable than an ordinary worn example. Professional collectors often distinguish between circulated and uncirculated examples, with high-grade specimens receiving greater attention when they are genuinely scarce. Another important factor is the presence of a minting error or recognized variety. A normal 2018 5 cent is generally worth close to its face value unless other characteristics make it desirable, but an authentic major mint error can potentially be more interesting. Possible areas for examination include the alignment of the design, doubled features, missing or weak design elements, unusual planchette characteristics, striking abnormalities, off-center strikes and other manufacturing defects. However, it is extremely important to distinguish genuine mint errors from damage that occurred after the coin entered circulation. A scratch, dent, bent edge, discoloration caused by chemicals, or damage from machinery is not necessarily a valuable mint error. Collectors should never assume that an unusual-looking coin is automatically rare. The best practice is to compare it with authenticated examples and, for an especially unusual specimen, obtain an expert opinion. The copper-covered steel composition also creates some interesting visual changes over time. Fresh coins can have a bright reddish or copper-colored appearance, while older circulated coins may become darker, brownish or unevenly toned because of handling and environmental exposure. This natural aging is common and does not by itself prove rarity. In fact, cleaning or polishing a coin to make it appear brighter can sometimes make it less desirable to collectors because cleaning can leave scratches and unnatural surfaces. For that reason, collectors are generally advised to preserve a coin in its original condition rather than aggressively cleaning it. The 5 cent denomination also has an interesting role in the euro system because the smallest three denominations, 1, 2 and 5 cents, are made from copper-covered steel, unlike the 10, 20 and 50 cent coins, which use Nordic gold. The standard design and specifications were established as part of the euro coin system, while individual national mints were responsible for producing their country's coins. The European Central Bank explains that euro coins have a common side and a national side, and the national side indicates the issuing country. This national variation is one of the reasons euro coin collecting can become a fascinating hobby. A collector can search through the same denomination and date and discover completely different national designs. For someone who owns a 5 cent 2018, the first step should be identifying the country. Look carefully at the national side for the country's name, symbol, portrait, emblem, initials or other identifying features. Next, check the date and inspect the entire coin under good lighting. Look at the globe and denomination on the common side, then examine the national design for unusual details. If there is a suspected mint mark, designer initials or other small symbol, record it carefully because these details can help distinguish different issues. Weight can also be checked with a precise digital scale. A standard 5 cent euro coin should be around 3.92 grams, although tiny differences can occur because of manufacturing tolerances and wear. Diameter and thickness can also be compared with official specifications. If a coin is substantially different from the standard specifications, it may deserve further investigation, although measurement differences alone do not prove that a coin is rare. The 2018 date is also significant because it belongs to the modern period of euro coinage, long after physical euro coins entered circulation in 2002. The euro was introduced as an accounting currency in 1999, while euro coins and banknotes entered everyday circulation in 2002. Consequently, a 2018 5-cent coin is not a pre-euro or transitional coin like some early dated euro issues from 1999–2001. Instead, it is a later generation circulation issue. This historical distinction is useful for collectors when organizing euro collections by period. Another important point is that 5-cent coins are not commemorative coins in the same way as the special circulating €2 commemorative coins. The European Commission notes that commemorative circulating coins are issued in the €2 denomination, meaning a normal 5-cent coin is a standard denomination rather than a commemorative €2 issue. Nevertheless, individual national designs can still make particular 5-cent issues visually appealing and historically interesting. When discussing the potential value of a 2018 5 cent online, it is especially important to avoid exaggerated claims. Headlines sometimes claim that ordinary modern coins are worth thousands, hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, but such claims should not be accepted without documented evidence. A normal circulated 2018 5-cent coin should not be assumed to be worth millions simply because it carries the year 2018. Extremely high prices would require extraordinary circumstances, such as a unique or exceptionally rare authenticated error, an extremely scarce variety, an important provenance, or a documented auction result. Even then, a claimed value and an actual realized selling price are two different things. Serious collectors rely on catalog references, auction records, specialist dealers, professional grading services and other trustworthy numismatic evidence rather than sensational internet claims. If you are making a YouTube video about the 2018 5 cent, it is therefore better to tell viewers to check their coins carefully for rare varieties and genuine mint errors rather than promising that every worn coin is worth a fortune. Bad condition coins can sometimes be interesting, but condition alone does not create rarity. A damaged coin can actually be worth less than a normal example unless the unusual feature is the result of the minting process and is recognized as a genuine error. For preservation, the coin should be kept in a clean, dry environment and preferably stored in a suitable coin holder or capsule that does not contain harmful materials. Avoid glue, tape, abrasive polishing compounds and harsh chemical cleaners. Fingerprints can also leave oils on the surface, so handling valuable specimens by their edges is preferable. If a 2018 5 cent appears to have a major error, it is wise to photograph both sides, photograph the edge, record the weight and diameter, and compare it with a normal example of the same national issue. Professional authentication becomes particularly useful if the suspected error appears significant. In conclusion, the 5 cent 2018 is a fascinating modern European circulation coin with a standard diameter of about 21.25 mm, a weight of about 3.92 grams, a thickness of about 1.67 mm, a copper-covered steel composition, a smooth edge and a distinctive red copper appearance. Its common European design connects it to the broader history of the euro, while its national side connects it to the individual country that issued it. The most important things for a collector to examine are the issuing country, mint details, condition, mintage information, varieties and any genuine minting errors. Although an ordinary 2018 5 cent is generally a common modern circulation coin, an unusual authenticated variety or major mint error can make an individual example much more interesting. The real excitement of collecting is therefore not simply finding an old-looking coin, but learning how to identify the details that separate an ordinary piece from a genuinely scarce and collectible example. Next up, the 5 cent 2003 Aire is an interesting early euro coin from Ireland and an important example for collectors who study the first years of physical euro currency. The word, Aire, is the Irish language name for Ireland, and it appears on the national side of Irish euro coins. Ireland chose to use a single national design across all 8 euro denominations, the Celtic harp, a traditional and highly recognizable symbol of Irish identity, accompanied by the year of issue and the inscription, Aire. The harp design used on Irish euro coins was created by Irish artist Jarlath Hayes. The 5-cent denomination has a face value of 5 cents, or 5 cents, and follows the standard specifications for the denomination, approximately 21.25 mm in diameter, 1.67 mm thick and 3.92 grams in weight. It is made from copper-covered steel, giving it the familiar reddish or copper-colored appearance, and it has a smooth edge. The other side is the common European side, designed by Luke Lukes, and shows a globe with Europe in relation to Africa and Asia, together with the denomination and the 12 stars associated with the European Union. The common design for the 1, 2 and 5 cent coins is different from the higher denominations because the map presents Europe in relation to the surrounding continents. The 2003 date makes this coin particularly interesting because it belongs to the very early period of euro circulation. Although the euro was introduced as an accounting currency in 1999, physical euro coins and banknotes entered everyday circulation in January 2002, replacing national currencies such as the Irish pound. Ireland had to manufacture enormous quantities of euro coins before the changeover, and the Central Bank of Ireland records that production of euro coins began at its mint in September 1999, with more than 1 billion coins eventually produced for the changeover. Therefore, an Irish 5-cent coin dated 2003 represents the second year of normal physical euro circulation rather than a pre-euro coin. According to published mintage references, Ireland produced approximately 48.35 million circulating 5-cent coins dated 2003, with additional brilliant uncirculated pieces listed separately in some catalogues. This mintage is much lower than the Irish 5-cent production figure for 2002, which was over 456 million pieces, making the 2003 issue considerably less numerous than the first-year circulation issue, although it is still not automatically a rare coin. The distinction between a relatively lower mintage and true rarity is extremely important when evaluating modern euro coins. A coin can have a lower production number and still be readily available to collectors because millions of examples survive. The ordinary 2003 Irish 5-cent coin therefore should not automatically be described as an extremely valuable or million-dollar coin simply because it carries an early date. Its value depends on factors such as condition, scarcity, variety, minting errors, demand and the specific form in which the coin was issued. The Irish national side is especially attractive because the Celtic harp has deep historical associations with Ireland. The harp is one of the most recognizable symbols of Irish culture and appears prominently on the national side of every Irish euro denomination. On the 5-cent coin, the harp is surrounded by the 12 European stars, while the inscription AIR in the year 2003 identified the issuing country and date. The design creates a clear connection between Ireland's national identity and the wider European monetary system. For collectors, this makes the coin valuable as a historical object even when its financial value is modest. One of the most important things to understand about the 5 euro cent 2003 AIR is its condition. Coins that have circulated for many years can show scratches, small dents, dark spots, discoloration, flattened details and loss of the original reddish copper appearance. A heavily worn example may have only a small premium, if any, over its face value. On the other hand, a coin preserved in exceptionally good condition can be more desirable, particularly if it retains strong original luster, sharp design details and minimal contact marks. Collector grades such as very fine, extremely fine, about uncirculated and uncirculated are used to describe the degree of preservation. The better the condition, the greater the potential collector interest, although condition alone does not guarantee a high value. Another major factor is whether the coin has a genuine minting error. Modern euro coins can occasionally be found with manufacturing abnormalities, and an authentic major error can be substantially more interesting than an ordinary example. Collectors may inspect the 2003 AIR 5-cent coin for possible off-center strikes, unusual striking characteristics, doubled design elements, planchette problems, missing or incorrectly formed features, or other abnormalities. However, great care is required because many unusual-looking coins are simply damaged after leaving the mint. A scratch, dent, bent edge, chemical discoloration, abrasion or damage caused by machinery is normally not considered a valuable mint error. A true mint error must have occurred during the manufacturing process and should ideally be supported by comparison with known examples or expert authentication. The coin's copper-covered steel composition is another important characteristic. The steel core provides the coin with its strength, while the copper coating gives it its distinctive appearance. Because the coin is made for everyday circulation, its surface can change over time as a result of handling, moisture, air, chemicals and environmental exposure. Some examples may become darker or develop brownish or uneven surfaces. Natural toning or discoloration does not automatically make a coin rare. In fact, aggressive cleaning can reduce collector appeal because polishing or chemical treatment can remove the original surface and leave scratches or unnatural-looking areas. For this reason, collectors should generally avoid cleaning a potentially collectible coin. If you have a 2003 AIR 5-cent coin, it is better to preserve it as found and investigate it carefully before attempting any restoration. When examining the coin, begin by confirming that the national side actually carries the AIR inscription, the Celtic harp and the 2003 date. Then examine the common European side for the denomination and globe design. Look closely around the rim, lettering, stars, harp, date and other design details. A magnifying glass or coin loupe can help reveal small features that may not be visible to the naked eye. It is also useful to compare the coin with a normal 2003 Irish 5-cent example so that unusual characteristics can be identified more accurately. Measuring the coin can provide additional information, the standard denomination is approximately 21.25 mm in diameter and weighs about 3.92 grams. Small variations can occur because of manufacturing tolerances, wear and measurement equipment, so a slightly different measurement does not automatically indicate an error. A substantial deviation, particularly when combined with an unusual appearance, may justify further investigation. The 2003 Irish issue also illustrates why euro collecting can be fascinating. Unlike some national currencies where every denomination has a different national image, Ireland used the same Celtic harp theme on all 8 euro denominations. This creates a unified Irish euro series that collectors can assemble by date and denomination. A collector might therefore build a complete Irish 2003 set containing the 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, 20 cent, 50 cent, €1 and €2 coins. Comparing these coins can reveal differences in size, composition, design and production quantities. The 2003 5-cent coin is also useful for understanding the transition from the Irish pound to the euro. Before the euro, Ireland used the Irish pound, or punt, and the introduction of euro cash required a massive logistical operation involving the production, distribution and eventual withdrawal of Irish pound currency. The Central Bank of Ireland documents the extensive preparation undertaken for the euro changeover and notes that euro coin distribution to banks and major retailers began in September 2001 before public circulation started in 2002. Consequently, the 2003 Éire 5-cent coin belongs to a fascinating period in Irish monetary history when the new common European currency was becoming established in everyday life. In terms of value, it is important to separate face value, collector value and exceptional auction value. The face value is exactly 5 euro cents. Ordinary circulated examples are generally inexpensive because tens of millions were produced. Published collector references list low values for normal circulated examples, with higher figures for better preserved or special brilliant uncirculated examples. One catalog, for example, lists approximately 48.35 million circulating pieces in a separate 65,000-piece brilliant uncirculated issue for 2003. These figures demonstrate why an ordinary circulated coin should not be advertised as automatically worth thousands or millions. However, an unusual authenticated error or extremely scarce variety could have a different market value, and collectors should investigate such examples individually. If a coin appears to have an unusual feature, clear photographs of both sides and the edge are useful. Recording its exact weight and diameter can also help. For particularly unusual pieces, professional authentication is recommended before assigning a high value. This is especially important because internet videos and social media posts sometimes exaggerate the value of ordinary coins. Claims such as, "This 5-cent coin is worth millions," should always be supported by verifiable auction records or professional numismatic evidence. A realistic collector should focus on identifying what makes a particular coin different rather than assuming that every old or worn example is valuable. Bad condition does not automatically mean high value. In fact, heavy wear usually lowers the value unless the coin has a rare variety or genuine mint error that remains identifiable despite its condition. A worn coin can still be historically interesting and worth keeping, but its condition should be honestly described when discussing its market value. Storage is also important. If you want to preserve a 2003 Éire 5-cent coin, keep it in a dry environment and use a suitable non-damaging coin holder or capsule. Avoid gluing, taping, polishing or chemically cleaning it. Handle potentially valuable specimens by their edges rather than repeatedly touching the faces. If the coin has an attractive original surface, preserving that surface is usually better than attempting to make it look shiny. Overall, the 5 euro cent 2003 Éire is a historically significant early Irish euro circulation coin featuring Ireland's Celtic harp, the inscription Éire and the 2003 date. It has the standard 5-cent specifications of approximately 21.25 mm diameter, 1.67 mm thickness and 3.92 grams weight, and it is made from copper-covered steel. With around 48.35 million circulating pieces listed for the year, it is less numerous than Ireland's enormous 2002 issue but is not, by itself, an ultra-rare coin. Its greatest appeal comes from its connection to the early years of the euro, its distinctive Irish national design and the possibility of finding an unusually well-preserved example or an authentic minting error. For anyone checking an old collection, jar of change or inherited coins, the best approach is to examine the date, country, design, condition and possible errors carefully, compare the piece with reliable references, and avoid exaggerated price claims. The 2003 IR 5-cent coin may not make every collector rich, but it is certainly an attractive and historically interesting piece of modern Irish and European numismatic history. Please like and subscribe to my channel.